welcome and happy Sunday. And most of you are very familiar with our work who's on here today, but those of you who aren't, we'll just explain a little bit, and we're going to spend most of the time channeling,
yes.
Of course.
So lucky for those that are doing it here on Zoom, you'll be able to ask questions in the chat box, which is good.
Yeah, so this is kind of how we'll manage it. It's a pretty small group today, which is great. We're not spend larger groups lately. So you can keep your microphone muted while Anthony's channeling. And then as you have questions, just put them down in the chat box and we'll take it from there. We only ask that you don't ask personal questions because we're live on Facebook, we're live on Instagram. So no personal questions, just because that's not appropriate for this particular forum. But ask any other questions that you would like about spirituality, consciousness, the soul, pretty much anything, even the juicy quantum stuff. So you want to explain a little bit about
so how we channel. So anybody who's new here, we're just going to do it very quickly. When I channel, again, Spirit's going to literally comes through Renee first and then into me. And when I start to channel, you'll start to see that I will, my face will change, my voice will change a little bit. My hands are going to start going, woo, like
his
this.
Breath gets
my breath
labored.
Is going to get very, for all the yogis and yogini out there, it's going to become an ujjayi breath. And you'll see different entities. Our spirit team will always come through first, and they will refer to Renee as Gaia. And then depending on the question that you ask, we have different teams that come in and out, that step in and out of our auric fields to help answer these questions to the best of our ability and to the best of their ability as well.
And they largely make up the ascended masters, although we've been channeling a lot more energies lately, much stronger energies. So the energies that are coming through, and we'll do some energy healing work as well. They work both through your DNA structures for what humans like to call upgrades, but they're not really upgrades. It's really activating our dormant DNA to a higher level of consciousness. And our guides will plug into the auric field of Anthony, and some of the other so-called team members will connect and communicate literally through our quantum DNA field, which is in the Merkaba body that's about 26 or so feet around us. And so that's pretty much how it works. And for those on Instagram Live and those on Facebook Live, you do need to be registered and connected on Zoom to be able to ask questions, because we have nobody managing those pages. So.
One other thing about the energy work, because we're all connected, if you start to feel a little bit sleepy, things of that nature, it's okay. Make sure you always have plenty of water, like I do.
Because the energy stuff that's coming through us is getting stronger and stronger by the day, literally.
Yeah, so we're always in the process of having our
new energies
coming
through, and different kind of frequencies that are coming through.
Would you like to get a bowl?
Yes, I will do that. So we always set up to an altar whenever we do these kinds of things, and we get these intuitive downloads. So we have a lot of Egyptian energy here today for some reason. I don't know who in the group is bringing that through, but we have Metatron here and Isis and some other goddesses that represent kind of ancient Egypt.
And we have the goddess Fortuna.
Yes.
Which I love because it's abundance. So I will always set up an altar and a candle and incense just to set the mood and allow these energies to come through the way they want to. I will put aside myself, if you will, the ego, and I will literally allow myself to combine with these energies. And then we'll take it from there. Remember, we're going to have fun.
Yeah, let's have fun today.
Let's have fun today. and see where it goes. Let me give myself a little bit more water. Everything that I do in this plane, I can also do in the others as well. So if I feel thirsty, they will literally take water and they will drink, or I will drink when I'm channeling as well. But it's been a very long process to get to that point. A lot of practice.
So we're going to bring forth our guides now, and then you guys can ask some questions and we'll see where it goes. We'll see what you guys want to focus on today.
Just sit back and relax.
So they're connecting now. I decided to play G this morning for the throat chakra so that we may all speak our truth.
It is always an honor and privilege to be in your presence, Gaia. Thank you for receiving us.
Thanks, guys. How are you this morning? It's morning here in California.
Yes. It is beautiful, isn't it?
It is. Yes, it is.
How fortunate you are. How grateful we are. What gratitude we have to be here with you in such a beautiful environment. Thank you again for receiving us. We understand why we are here, and we will answer questions. We will give ourselves to all of those who seek us. The first things that we want to say to you is be of good cheer, laugh and have fun. What good is a spiritual path if you're not having fun with it? Use your heart to connect. Use the emotional intelligence to connect with us, and we will connect with you. At this time, we are connecting with you at this very moment. There is no separation between us and you. Remember that you are us and we are you, and we are all together as one. We hear the doorbell.
Yes, that's more people coming in. Yay.
Now, because you are in this resonance in which we live, in which we exist, this frequency of love and light divine, you are receiving the benefits of all of the frequencies that we are as well. And we too are receiving the frequencies of all that you are as well. We call this a two-way street, isn't it? What we do for you, you do for us as well. It is an exchange of love. There is only one permanence in the multiverse, and that is love itself. Remember who you are. You are of goddess or God source energy, universal consciousness. You are first spirit, second human, and everything else third. We are ready.
You are ready. You're ready for questions.
Questions now.
So again, if you're joining us on Instagram or Facebook Live, you need to be registered on Zoom to join us, to at least to be able to ask questions. So,
but we are still giving all those that are here in attendance our energies.
So Jen has a question. Is the medical medium's information legitimate about the value of celery juice? Does it really have the healing properties beyond our understanding, as he reports? That's pretty specific, Jen. So I don't know how specific you guys are going to go with that, but I'll add to it because I have a lot of experience with juicing.
1 second, please.
Okay. So while they're connecting, sometimes when they do this, they'll bring other energies forth. But well, what I will say about juicing is just in general very, very powerful, especially with alkaline vegetables, of which celery is one of them. So, oops, I'm just trying to get celery in there. And it's mostly water, so you want to alkaline your bloodstream system. Cal is even better.
We are part of your indigenous team.
Ah.
The energy that you refer to as white buffalo
Oh, lovely.
is here at this time.
Lovely.
It is an indigenous group, but I will refer to it as white buffalo woman.
Okay.
Now, you ask about living in harmony with the earth.
She's talking about juicing.
We understand. I understand that too. Anytime you are in harmony with the environment in which you are living, it has put your body in the same frequency of that which you take in your body. If it is pure and natural, or you say organic, it is fresh, uncooked, then yes, it does have the nutrients, the vitamins, and the energy that your scientists are starting to discover.
And the longer you leave it before you consume it, the more it loses its properties, right? So the best thing about juicing is that you want to literally drink it as quickly after it's juiced as possible.
But we knew that long before you did.
Yes, we've known that for a long time in this dimension as well.
I am what you refer to as an indigenous elder, an ancestor. I will refer to myself as white buffalo woman. It has been an honor and privilege to be here among you. Remember who you are. Remember your ancestors. Remember your indigenous elders. And you should follow their ways as well. Be one with the earth. Be one with the sky, and you will have the best of all things. Do not forget that Gaia gives you life. Do not pollute the oceans. Do not pollute the land. For what you pollute, you take into your bodies.
Yeah.
This has been a nice visit. Thank you for receiving me.
Thank you. So Jen, that's why when you start looking into what's happening with corn right now, as an example, with GMOs, and it's literally getting into all of our corn. That's kind of one of the things to really watch out for. And I have a list of other food based on what is happening with GMOs that you can really want to stay away from. So if you're interested in that list, just email us.
We are happy about that question.
Yeah.
It was quite different. These questions that you pose will call in different entities and different spirits and frequencies. we are happy.
I'm
Thank
sorry, I'm sorry to interject, but I have a related question, and I know that I'll end up down in the chat, but is it true that when we look at juicing, we should factor in our blood type and what aligns with that?
I'll tell you that worked personally for me, but let's see what they say. Definitely worked for me. So I'm a huge believer in combining both, actually. And yes, because you have to be, Victoria's saying celery is also to be careful of the source because it doesn't have like a hard skin. So if something has a harder skin, like avocados, right, it's less permeable, if you like. And celery, like, because it's water, you absolutely have to be careful of the source.
There are many different diets and many different ways to live your life. You must choose which is best for you. If you believe that you must eat according to your blood type, if that is what resonates with you, then do so. If you believe that you must eat according to your chakras, then that is something that you must do. If you believe that you must be a vegan and that resonates with you, that helps to get you to a higher spirituality level.
Can you explain what that means practically? So I'll say, and then they can pipe in. So a lot of times when you guys talk about resonance, it's because of our belief systems and our intention. So if we have the intention or the belief system that in order for us to connect to these higher frequencies and resonance, that we have to be a vegan or, you know, whatever it is, then that's what's going to allow our system to connect to these higher frequencies because it's actually based on a belief system. Can you explain that?
It is true that is based on a belief system. However, we always tell you this, whatever it takes to get you where you need to be in this higher realm of vibrational patterns, then do it. Now, that doesn't mean that you're going to stay there the rest of this lifetime of yours. Because as you change, as the frequencies change, as your guides start to change as you do, you will no longer see that it is important to be where you once were. Always be flexible, bend, but do not break in the wind. Constantly change. As we say, always add to your toolbox. The things that you need, take in. The things that you no longer need, you may take out.
So a great example, you know, we do these online courses, and someone had asked yesterday during one of our courses, what about Hinduism and Jainism? And, you know, that she has grown up practicing that, and is there value to going on these silent retreats and doing the fasting and so forth? And you guys responded how to that? So in other words, that's a path to get there, but just as they were saying that at some point your resonance field will no longer need that. So it's a path to get there, but at some point, if you don't need that, you're going to bring in something else that works for you.
Did you not go on a path like that as well?
I did indeed.
Why?
Because that was an exploration and a discovery in my 30s. And so I did a lot of fasting and silent retreats and all of that.
Did you do ayahuasca?
I did not do ayahuasca.
Did you do frog medicine?
Not in this lifetime.
Why not?
Because I didn't feel that I needed that.
Did you do mushrooms?
Yes.
So the question is this.
So you're going to resonate with things that's going to bring you on a path, and then you're going to decide, I didn't need that, or I did need that because it brought me somewhere else.
As we always tell you, do what it takes to get you to initiate, to start the process. If you need to go into a cave and meditate and be silent for 3 months, if that's what it takes, then do it. But because you need to initiate it and start it, what you are doing is that you are starting to change your DNA structures. That is, you are bringing energy or bringing memories back to these DNA, which begins the process. Now, just because you begin this way doesn't mean that you're going to end the other way or in the same way. What we're trying to say again is always be flexible and always change.
Adapt. So if you think about it, right, in this quantum field around us, this Merkaba body, 96 to 97% of that DNA or in our Merkaba body is dormant. And so
It is not truly dormant.
well, it's not you can explain it
The
better.
DNA is waiting to be activated.
Yes.
It is
So
not dormant.
it's there, but it's not ignited.
Once you set the intention
There you go.
and you put into this consciousness of within your DNA, it starts to react. And when it begins to react, everything starts to change. And you start to know and notice a change in yourself. You start to understand, or as we like to say, you begin to wake up. And when you begin to wake up, that is when your auric field begins to wake up. That is when your DNA, all of the different layers that you speak of
In
in the
quantum field,
begin to wake up as well. And when you wake up, you start to change, don't you? Well said, Gaia.
So Chloe wants to know, what's the difference between twin flame and soulmate energy? Will I ever meet them in this lifetime? So they probably won't go into the second part of that because that's a personal question. But before they answer, I will tell you that twin flame energy, of which Anthony and I are, doesn't always show up as a romantic relationship. It can be a sister, it can be a brother, it can be a mother, it can be a friend even. So just bear that in mind, that that's very different than a soulmate, and you guys can explain this, but twin flame is really about doing work together, spiritual work together, something that is much bigger and beyond what you can imagine in your human linear understanding. Now you guys can explain.
Now we'll try to put it in something that is more linear for you, or in a 3D realm. Soulmates are those souls that are within your same frequency. That is to say that they always are with each other all the time. You may refer to them as your soul family. They will be there with you through your different forms of reincarnation, different ways in which you decide to reincarnate together to help each other upon your path. A twin flame is quite rare. That is, there is a soul, and from the soul comes a flame, if you will, becomes a light or a spark.
An offshoot of a soul.
That is correct. Twin flames do not always work together in the same lifetime. It is often that they go about their own journeys until they come together after thousands of years to do a work together, which is of an enormous amount of significance. We say this to you because here you see and witness Renee and Anthony at this time. We did try to put you together sooner.
Yes, I know.
It didn't work.
They tried to throw us together sooner and it didn't work. And the reason that it is so rare is that because it's an offshoot of the same soul, there's a lot of, I don't want to say friction, but it's tough for the energies to do the work together.
It is indeed. It is a labor of love, isn't it?
For something bigger beyond yourself. And both souls need to be evolved enough to sign up for that together.
We had our doubts about Anthony. He was a tough egg to crack.
Yes.
But we thank you, Gaia, for your patience and love with him. We thank you. We are eternally grateful.
Oh, guys, thanks.
Thank you.
We love you.
And
So,
we love you.
yes. But it is important to know that it doesn't necessarily show up as a romantic partner. That's just a
No,
yeah.
it doesn't. Most of the time, it will not.
Yeah. So Carol wants to know, because I know Carol is in both of our courses, or both of our June courses right now, is she's asking, why do we become sleepy during a channeling session? Yeah, some people get knocked out.
Why do you become sleepy? Why does your head feel heavy? Why do you feel drowsy? When Anthony was first opening up to us, we told him, have a glass of wine. It's good. Vinum bonum est, we said. Wine is good. Why did we tell him to have a glass of wine? Because it would help relax the body. The reason you become a little bit sleepy or drowsy is because you are, or we will say this, your soul team, it is allowing us to work together as one source energy.
Energetically. So
You are feeling something that is not particularly yours, but it is, because we are working together with your soul team. And we are combining our energies now. And because you become sleepy or drowsy, that is a good thing, because the energies are combining now as one. The Merkaba body is becoming lighter. Everything is starting to change. You're feeling it within all of the different DNA structures that are happening all simultaneously at the same time.
and the more energy that comes through, or the stronger the energy that comes through. For example, when we channel an energy called Elohim, the universal consciousness of all that is, the energy is very strong. And almost everybody we work with, when that energy comes through, gets knocked out, including myself.
Many times when you are resistant to the energy, it may manifest in pain, shaking, and other manifestations of that. Better to be accepting of it,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Go with the flow. Does that help, Carol? Did that answer your question?
Carol, you are feeling the way Anthony feels at this very moment.
It does help. That was the first time I experienced the getting sleepy. I'm excited and, excited to attend classes. And yesterday, the second half really just, I wanted to lie down on the floor and take a nap, but I was resisting it. And I was like, what is this?
Well, the energies that came, that you're talking about, the quantum course, right? So the quantum course, we are now on class 2, and that's pretty powerful stuff that came through yesterday. Yeah.
Sometimes it's okay to lay down and meditate that way as well.
Yes.
We can work on you easier.
There's some people in
Thank
the
you.
class who've been doing all of our classes where at the end of the session, when we're saying goodbye to people, they're gone. They're completely knocked out, gone.
That is why we will always tell you after a session, make sure you get plenty of water and you sleep. It's okay to give yourself a good siesta.
I've never slept so much in my life in the last 3 months, actually, as you guys have been working through us more and more.
Sleep is very important for the body, isn't it?
So Sandra wants to know, how do we really know that we're channeling and it's not just coming from our heads?
Very good.
It's a great question. Great question. Those of you on Instagram and Facebook, if you want to ask questions, you got to register, which is complimentary, by the way. But you do have to register.
How do you know that you are not losing your mind, going crazy, talking to yourself like a crazy person. How should you know that? Well, first of all,
Alignment.
you must practice. Did you say alignment?
I did.
Alignment is good. Remember, each time you decide to channel, put yourself within alignment. That is only the highest and best for your soul will come to you at that moment. When you start to feel your body become lighter, your head become lighter, and you start to feel the energy coming through your body, in your ears, in your mouth, throughout your body, realize this. It is not coming directly from you, but it is coming through you. Your higher self is connecting with all of the energies that you are intending to come to you and through you.
That's why the intention piece is so important, because you want to be intending the highest possible good, the highest possible light, what is going to serve me at this moment, nothing more, nothing less. So you're really getting into alignment of what you are allowing to come through you.
If you hear yourself talking to yourself, that's good. Because you're not just talking to yourself, you're talking to yourself. You're talking to your higher self, the one of light energy. And it's okay to talk to yourself because you are talking to the multiple yous as well.
The multiple yous, that's in the quantum.
And as you talk to
field.
yourself and you stay within this quantum field of high resonance, all of the other yous to whom you are speaking are vibrating at that resonance as well. So continue to speak to you.
And sometimes when you get these deja vu moments, that is literally, for those of you who are not familiar with what timelines mean, I apologize for going into this, but if you are hearing a resonance that feels familiar, but you can't figure it out, it could very well be another you who's already experienced that experience that you're asking about, right? Should I take this job? Should I marry this man? Should I whatever? And you're getting that sixth sense of no, don't do that. It could be because in a parallel timeline, you've already married that person, you've already taken that job, and it hasn't been so good for you. And so it's literally a resonance field that's trickling down to this you and this timeline saying, you've done it, move on.
It no longer serves you
Right.
anymore, the higher you.
The higher you. So as crazy as that sounds, that's actually what happens in a quantum field.
And we are all in a quantum field at this time.
And how cool is that, that we can access that knowledge, that it already exists. We just have to understand that A, it's there, we have to believe it, and then we have to be in alignment to be able to access it and bring it through.
A quantum field is nothing more than what you refer to as a diversity of spiritual realms. That's all it is. But we are speaking to you now about frequencies. And frequencies are different vibrational realms that exist simultaneously. More questions?
Yeah, another great one on Egypt, which is really cool, because those of you guys who don't know, we're doing a very exciting day-long course on spiritual Egypt on July 18th. So mark your calendars. We are collaborating with a hypnotherapist who's a dear friend we've known for 20 years, and it's going to be a powerful, riveting day on Egypt. We're going to do past life transgression work and channeling the gods and goddesses from Egyptian days. You do not want to miss that.
We will do our best to have them
connection.
come.
So anyway, Jen wants to know, related to Egypt, which keeps coming up in our life for whatever reason, is there anything underneath the Sphinx, or I'm going to add under any of the other pyramids, such as the Akashic records?
The Akashic records does not exist within this particular realm. the Akashic records resist or exist within a different frequency. Every planet within this solar system and within all other solar systems, within your own galaxy, each has its own Akash, or its own matrix of crystalline energies that make up the resonance of that particular planet.
And it stores all the memories of that planet and everyone on it. And so on this planet, we call it the Akashic Records.
And each individual, every soul that exists on this particular planet at this particular time within this particular frequency
And timeline and dimension
is connected to that Akash. That is why you all have the ability, if you choose, to connect to the Akashic records within your own planetary system, within your own planet itself. Again, it takes practice. You can learn these practices from those that are reading the Akashic records, and you can do it yourself.
Yeah, so it's not that it's not buried
It
on
is
the
not-
land per se.
no.
It's in a quantum field that exists within our Merkaba bodies. that
But we
can-
will tell you there are things that run very deep under the ground, underneath Egypt, underneath the pyramids, and underneath the other statues that are there. They are hidden realms or hidden objects there, and that they've been put there for a reason. And we will also give you a little bit of information that underneath these monuments, the objects and things that are placed there are not necessarily from your human species. But you probably already know that anyway. That shouldn't come as a secret to any of you who are watching and being with us at this time.
Chloe wants to know what's causing the rise in eating disorders. That's interesting. That definitely started in my teens, actually. And I'm older than you all, maybe not than you all.
Eating
but-
disorders is a combination of different energies coming together in one way that is not beneficial for a human being. First of all, that which you decide to eat, what you put into your body, you become that object. You become that nutrient. You become that food that you put into your body. We'll give you a quick example. If you're going to eat, try to eat things that are natural, whole, organic. We
Live.
shouldn't even have to say organic.
Yeah.
If it comes from a box, that is what you will turn into. If you,
That's great. That's good. I like that.
is that a joke?
Well, you didn't mean it as a joke,
No.
but it's awesome.
You will become what you eat. If you eat beautiful, colorful vegetables and fruits that are wholesome, then you will light up the chakras within your body and everything else will become alive. However, if you eat things and you know these things that are not good for you, that is what will happen to your chakras. And that is what happens also to the auric field around you, not to say what happens to your physical body.
GMOs, box stuff. I mean, the key is to look at the ingredients. I mean, if you don't recognize the ingredients as something that's raw and natural, don't eat it. I mean, it's, we overcomplicate this. And I think that it's, something that we just need to get people to literally read the labels, understand what they're putting into their body. And if it doesn't resonate, don't do it.
Now, the reasons why there are eating disorders, there are many different reasons. We will only get into a few. It's what you put into your body, first of all. Second of all, there are so many. Make sure that all of you who are of the feminine energy in this lifetime truly, truly, truly see the goddess in the mirror.
It's definitely leading
See
to, yeah.
the light that you are. Do not always look at the physical aspect, but look at the internal portion of what you truly are and be one with it. It is okay. All human beings come in different colors, shapes, and sizes. That is what makes you so beautiful, and that is the reason why you are so diverse. And there are reasons for that as well, which we won't get into at this
And as a
time.
species, we need to learn to honor that diversity.
Yes, honor your diversity and honor who you are in this lifetime.
Because remember, when you're doing that, even if society doesn't, you're raising the vibrational field, and it gives permission for other women to do the same. Right? And that is key, because the more the resonance goes for every single person, that regardless of your size, regardless of your color, you're honoring it. It gives permission for other women of color or who see themselves as not beautiful because of their size or whatever it happens to be. It gives them permission to step into their power and say, I am beautiful exactly as I am.
But we are not telling you to eat foods that are not beneficial for your body. But it is okay to be of a different size, because that is what your soul has come into this existence for.
To experience.
Yes. More questions are on the way.
From AF, I don't know what AF stands for, but nice to meet you. Could you please explain the 3 days of darkness that so many people are prophesizing and warning about right now? It's supposed to happen at the beginning of next year. Is it a true concern?
What was supposed to happen at the end of the Mayan calendar?
The end of the Mayan calendar.
What was supposed to happen from 1999 and when the day changed to the year 2000? You refer to something as something 2000K.
Yeah, actually I worked on that technology campaign during the time. We prepared for it for years and nothing happened. Billions of dollars went into that. I worked on it, I know.
Prophesized. There are many here now. We are more ascended masters. We prophesized about a lot of things, but not all things come to fruition. If there is one thing that you should prophesize about, then prophesize about love. Don't focus upon things that are dark, further from God's source, light, energy, further from the universal consciousness that you are. Do not be caught up into these lower vibrations of energy. Do not be caught up in darkness. They do not serve you. They are not of any value anymore to your higher self. You want a question, an answer where an answer doesn't exist.
So I'll just pipe in here, in a quantum way of thinking, the more energy that you give to something, whether it's a prophecy or whatever, the higher the probability that it will happen. So if you do not give credence, if you do not give energy to a so-called prophecy that's out there that's about darkness, the less likely it is for that prophecy to come into our consciousness. So the stronger you give an energy into the collective consciousness field of humanity, of where we are in this 3D world, the higher the probability it will happen. So the key is not to give it the energy. So it may be out there from a lower energy consciousness, for sure. There's lots of prophecies that are darker and gloomier, but don't give it the energy.
We will say this to you. There is a very slight possibility or probability of something like that. However, the greatest probability here at this time is that nothing of that sort will happen within this particular earth plane. Do not give belief, do not give credence to something that no longer serves you.
Yeah.
Be within a realm of light and love. That is what serves you.
Yeah, because we can literally change that probability by the collective consciousness of us not plugging in to that grid of darkness.
That is correct.
Or that grid of fear. So I hope that answered your question. AF, whoever you are. So Tangela wants to know, when spiritual teachers are exposed for nefarious activities, does it discount their teachings?
Nefarious, wicked. We like that word. Wicked.
You like that word?
Nefarious.
Do you mean like John of God? Is that an example of?
Does it discredit?
I was thinking of like Yogi Bhajan, who
yes.
has recently been exposed for like certain nefarious activities, but huge following and a lot of amazing teachings.
John of God had the same.
And so what can we keep, and how are we supposed to deal with those kind of issues?
Great question.
We don't know.
So why don't you talk to how you explained what happened with John of God is one example, but it really applies to all of these spiritual teachers that are coming out. Because remember, just because you're a spiritual teacher doesn't mean you can be absolutely a beautiful vessel for allowing this amazing teaching to come through, but you're still in the physical body, which
What
is where
is the one thing
the ego
that
right?
we always tell you and Anthony to do every night, every time we are with you, sharing wine, dinner?
Let's see, what do you tell us every day? Humble.
Humble.
Stay humble and be clean. You tell us every day.
Be clean, stay humble. Humble, humble. No matter where you go in your life, no matter what becomes of you, always be humble. So is the teaching no longer of value? No, not necessarily. We always tell you, from every spiritual teacher, take what you need that is beneficial for you, add it to your toolbox.
Spiritual toolbox.
Yes, so that you may be the best spiritual being and the best spiritual healer and the best spiritual being teacher at this time. You will know through your own divine intuition who is of value to you, who is of beneficial energies to you, and those that do not resonate with you.
Now, it's interesting because I had never gone to see John of God, and we have friends who have been cured of Lyme disease and other things from John of God speaking. But I remember when I first saw him on video, there was something, and I couldn't put my finger on it, that didn't resonate. And I didn't know, this was way before he was exposed.
And we tell you not to take yourselves so seriously.
But I just felt something was off and I couldn't put my finger on it. And what we're told, what you guys had said years ago to us, or not years ago, months ago, is that his guides and other people in the casa had warned him. right? That there was this awakening that things were not in alignment, but he didn't heed it.
Things were not in alignment for that soul for many, many of his years
Yeah, exactly.
upon this earth plane.
So, but did he heal people? Absolutely. As a vessel, he healed people. So,
Yes, he did, didn't he? And
but
he was a great healer.
my resonance was that I didn't want to go into the field for some reason. And I didn't know why. Everybody told me that, oh my God, you got to go see John of God. And I remember seeing him on video and didn't feel comfortable.
That is why we do not take a name specifically.
I mean, it's just one example, right? But
Yes, that is only one example. There are many other examples out there. But you as souls must understand, know your intuition and follow it.
yeah.
Continue, please.
Do the Hindu gods come from the Palladians?
That is a very good question.
Yeah, I love it, actually.
Why don't we ask them?
Yeah. So the Palladians are going to come through, I guess.
Why are you laughing?
Well, just because, you know, they don't really have a sense of humor, and here we go. They're so serious.
As are we.
So I know, Tangeela, you know this, right? Because you're asking the question that the Pleiades connect through his consciousness, not through the auric field. But for everybody else who's watching who might be new on the live feed, when Anthony connects to our galactic team, they connect through his consciousness.
We are what you refer to as your blue team. Because we have a bluish hue.
Hi, guys. We
It's
wore
good to
blue in your
see
honor
you.
today.
The question is legitimate. It is a good question. Are the gods of the Hindus from who we are? Well, then is a difficult and complicated answer to it as well. As we have always told you, you are a part of us, and we are a part of you. What does that mean exactly? You carry our DNA sequences as well. We are the Palladians, and we have come to your earth millions and millions of years ago to seed, that is, to put our knowledge and DNA into you. So the question is, are the gods Hindu a part of us? That is for you to decide. Because you are a part of us, then your gods are a part of us as well. We did not create the gods, you did. You create the gods
Through our consciousness.
through your consciousness. But your consciousness is directly connected to ours as well. This is your choice. You decide on what the answer is. But most of all, you decide on how it's going to raise your consciousness to a level of high frequency and love and universal consciousness. There are gods, however, that have come down to this planet. That is to say, they really are not gods. They are spiritual beings, and there are other species that have come here to assist you on your evolution. Many times human beings had seen them as angels
Or what's called seraphim energy.
or gods. But we will tell you this. None of the Palladians have come here and have been seen in physical form that you would mistake us to be gods or goddesses or angels. However, there are other species that have come here that are of higher light than us, that have been seen as gods and goddesses.
Syrians, right? As one example.
As one example, yes.
Hathors is another example.
They are multi-dimensional, multi-universal, multiple universal energies. Hathors are. We don't have a great deal of contact with them, but they are of a very high light species.
We talk to them.
We are your brothers and sisters. We are the Palladians. We don't refer to ourselves as that, but that is okay. You do. The 7 sisters of the Pallades. We are known by a different frequency. Please get to know us, and we will get to know you as well, for we have you in our best interest. And with that, we will leave now and allow your spirit guides to come through.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you for receiving us.
Thank you. When they look at me, they literally look at me as if I'm a fascinating specimen. It's just wild the way that they look at us when they come through.
They are very happy that you have made such an incredible change from when they first appeared to you years ago. You were upset and angry with them. You wanted nothing to do with them, and they felt quite
Hurt.
hurt. Yes,
Aw.
they did feel hurt. They were only here to help you.
They don't feel that way anymore, do they?
No, they don't. They're very happy. Could you see that? How happy they are.
I felt they were studying me, but that's okay. Not in a bad way. Not in a bad way.
They don't study you. They look at you in awe.
Yes, that too. So, okay, let's see here. So we don't have much time left, and I want to make sure we get questions from new people. Chelsea's asking, how do you ensure consciousness during channeling?
Chelsea, we're going to need a drink for this.
It's water. Water with a little lemon and a little peach.
Just a hint.
Just a hint.
How do you ensure consciousness when you are channeling? It all depends upon how deep you decide to go into your channel. At this time, Anthony is conscious that we are here, a part of his auric field and a part of his consciousness as well. How do you assure it? How do you understand? Chelsea, 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 the great galactic warriors, the great Syrian energy asks a question like this. But we will answer it for you because we know that you already understand, but others don't. Again, it's very simple. Are you aware of your consciousness now? You are. Then when you decide to channel, You will only channel the highest consciousness of who you are. The light being that will come to you and through you. You will combine your consciousness with those that are going to work with you and through you. And you only accept the highest and the best, because that is what you are. You are the highest and the best consciousness at this time. And there is no difference between you and us. That is how you're going to assure, when you begin to channel, that only the highest and best consciousness comes through you and to you, because you set the intention. That is why, and that is how. It is with your intention. It is with your heart and the emotions that you set. Remember who you are: high light being, formless form, that you are of a species that is of only love energy. And we mean that with the greatest intent. And we would love to see you here all the time and feel your energy. It has been a while.
Okay, so one more question because we're running low on time. Let me see. I have to see because there's quite a few questions. Oh God, don't even get me started on GMOs. Don't even get me started. It's a whole other thing, man. If everything is happening at the same time, how does that work with the concept of past lives? Are we living all of our lives simultaneously? And if so, how do we learn from past lives and make different choices in our next lives?
You saved this for the last question.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
And it's not just one question. There are multiple questions within a question.
Has to do with quantum. I
Yes.
wish you were taking our quantum course. This would make a lot more sense.
So first of all, you must understand, within a quantum realm of realities, there is no past, there is no present, and there is no future. There just is. How do you wrap your head around something like this when all you know that there is only a beginning and an end and everything in between? As we showed Anthony and Renee from the very beginning, we said things are like circles. Circles. There is no beginning and there is no end. Now, are you living all of your lifetimes simultaneously? The question is, or the answer is, yes and no. There is no absolute. But are you living simultaneous lifetimes?
At the same time.
Yes. We could say, yes, you are. But how does that happen? Because there is no end and there is no beginning. There only is.
So think of it as happening in another dimension that's not necessarily a linear dimension. So it's not higher or lower.
It's of a different frequency.
It's of a different frequency that you're tapping into. So
let us tell you this. Within the earth plane, you're what you refer to as a three-dimensional frequency. And in this particular earth realm, within this plane, this is what you know as your existence. However, within this planet, within other different dimensions and different frequencies, there are other beings that live here as well. You refer to them as elemental energies, and they are here as well. There are other elemental or other energies that live within these frequencies, within this planet. You refer to them as extraterrestrials. But these other extraterrestrials are just different species that live within this earth plane as well. We too, as ascended masters, also live within this particular frequency on this particular plane. You're just becoming aware of that now.
We just can't see with our human eye.
You cannot see us in the three-dimensional reality, but now you're beginning to. Your species is starting to understand that there are multiple realities occurring simultaneously that have nothing to do with you and everything to do with you. And we are so honored and pleased that you are waking up to this. And we are here now to give you this energy so that you can feel us more and you can see us more. We hope that that answers your question.
And I don't know how to pronounce your name. I would love to know how to pronounce it if you want to let us know, because I did want to add one more thing, because it's really such an amazing question. And I remember how earlier we spoke about when you're in that intuitive alignment state and you feel, when you're in that alignment, you have a feeling, an intuition that something may not be a good choice for you, but you can't figure out why. That, when we refer to as past lives, it could be a past life in the sense of the linear way of thinking, but it could also be this parallel life that's happening simultaneously, of which you're leading almost a very similar life. So for example, we're told by our guides that Anthony and I are living another parallel life at this time with the same names, right? That's how
we only tell you it's parallel so you can understand
so we can
it.
understand it, but we have children in that parallel life, right? And so sometimes timelines or parallel lives in different dimensions overlap. And so when you have that aha moment, it could be the other you giving you knowledge that they've already done it and it's not useful to you. And that's when you want to listen to it. So that is how you learn from so-called past lives, is really listening to that higher self speak. Hopefully that's helpful, and I would still love to know how to pronounce your name.
Are there more questions?
There are, but we're kind of running over. But what I do want to say to everyone who's here is that we are running 2 courses in June. We're running 2 more in July. And we would love for anyone who wants to check out our work to check out our work. And this, I'm going to put it into the, and those who are watching live, it's bluesoulearth.com /study-with-spirit. So bluesoulearth.com /study-with-spirit spirit. And that's a list of all of our courses that we have going on at any given time. We also run 2 Blue Soul Circles that are only $22, very, very inexpensive for people to join us for channeling. You guys,
are you in love with us?
I'm just announcing some things, guys, for the real world.
You touch us a lot.
Well, I'm in love with the perception of the physical body called Anthony. How's that?
We understand. There is no separation between us and Anthony, as there's no separation between you and your higher self and your spirit guides as well.
So anyway, these are our Study with Spirit courses where these guys come through and we channel different energies. And the ones that we have going on in June, which you could still join because we have video replay, we have the Quantum Fields course and Mary Magdalene, channeling of Mary Magdalene. And in July, this turned into something even cooler. We were going to just do this short thing on channeling goddesses. And then suddenly I got a download at 3 in the morning that we have to make this a full-blown course. So we're going to run it for 4 weeks, channeling 2 different goddesses per week. So we're literally practicing this by bringing forth the energies and frequencies of 2 different goddesses per week across, different cultures and so forth. So we're going to be running that in July for 4 weeks. And then the other thing I love touching you. That's okay, right? We're going to be doing also an Ascended Masters class. That's only a 2-week class. So not a big commitment, 2 weeks for channeling the Ascended Masters. And the third one is going to be another 2-week class about our chakra system and also quantum healing within not just our chakra system, but the Merkaba body around our field. So we'll be doing a 2-week course on that as well. And then of course, I cannot forget the one that we're like super, 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 super excited about, which is our 1-day Egypt course. Oh my gosh, we're so excited about this. And this is the link to that where you guys can all learn about that. BlueSoulEarth.com, and then you'll see it there. You can't miss it. Click on Spiritual Egypt workshop, and that's on July 18th. And we have 2 Blue Soul Circles running in July. And what else? We have a lot of stuff going on.
You are keeping us busy, aren't you?
I am keeping you busy, yes, with all these ideas that they're downloading to me. So we would love to have you join us. And, you know, also if you do want to, if you feel inclined to donate anything for today, we'd be grateful. We know that we offered it complimentary, of course. So if you're financially strapped, we totally understand. But that is our paypal.me.
And with that, we will leave.
You can contribute if you would like to. We would
May
be
peace
grateful.
be with you. May you be the peace and shine to others. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace and love is who we are.
Oh, thanks, guys.
Thank you. It is time to go.
Yes. They get all confused when I talk about logistics and the human plane. But they are leaving now. They ask me a lot, am I in love with them? They get a little confused. They're like, you're touching us a lot. Are you back?
Oh, man. Yeah.
Wild ride. Anthony's back. Yay!
Hey, everybody.
So fun.
Those are good questions. Really,
Yeah,
really
great
really
questions.
good questions.
Really great questions. And sorry that we didn't get to all of them, but you know,
we miss everybody.
Yeah, we miss everybody for sure. We are running a Blue Soul Circle. I think it's this Thursday night. So
it's just not the same.
I know.
As having everybody in person, and
I know.
But
we will return to that at some point. Next year we're going to be doing retreats to Europe and everything else. So
yeah, that should be fun.
Yeah, that'll be really, really fun. So anyway, we love you all. It's good to see familiar faces and meet new ones. And hopefully we'll see you in one of our workshops in July or one of our Blue Soul Circles.